imaginative play and free play is so important for kids. It helps with emotional regulation, building kind of social cues, and just like imagination. And these are just such lovely things to see a kid do when they're given the chance to just go off and do their own thing. There's also the aspect of like being outdoors and just getting muddy and mucky, and not only that being good for your emotional side, but also like the microbiome being great for your body and for your immune system as well. So I think it's just lovely to try and get our kids to get out and play more. And I suppose screen time is not only adding to the problem, but taking away from being able to play outdoors.
I completely agree with you, but it is, you just see so many parents now, even at meals.
Yeah.
Parents just plonk their kids down and have the screen in front of them. And look, I'm not saying that I've not done that. I have done it. But now I am, you know, Aurelia is 5, Bodhi's 4.
Yeah. Things
are changing in our lives and I've had to take them away. Like I take colouring out. We take activities for them to do. Uno.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like I never thought that Aurelia would actually crack Uno at the age of 5. But she actually understands it. And then she's out talking and doing things. But the screens have made life so easy. And do you know what I think it is as well? What you can pick up in the world when you're out is the judgment from people. Now kids aren't almost allowed to make noises because I think so many people plonk screens. So then the older generation, if your kid's kicking off, they're almost looking like, oh, yeah. It's like, kids did your kids not kick off? You didn't even have the screens back then.
Well, I feel like you can do no right. You either the person that shoves the screen in front of them and then everyone's like, oh, do you see how she just put the screen out? Or you're the one that doesn't put the screen and your kid's just running around because that's what kids do. And then the feral child who's like hiding underneath the table, flicking bits of pistachio cream on people, whatever they're doing. But either way, you can do no right. And I just think like we need to people just need to give us a break. And you were that person at one point, as you say, like you were like the other older generation that are looking at us. They've forgotten.
They have forgotten, haven't they?
They've just forgotten, because there's no chance that we were that disciplined, just sitting there like this the whole time through dinner. Of course we weren't. They've just forgotten.
But I do think there was more rules. Like I remember with my grandparents, like my granddad gave me the look. Like I was sitting there and I wasn't moving. Like, and you asked to get down from the table, and there's little rules. We're all just a bit more like free now. But I'm like, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know how I feel about it.
I know what you're saying. I think
So how do you feel? Tell me how you feel about it. Are you on the same page as me?
I mean, I never want my kids to be scared of me. Like, I don't want to have. No. I mean, I always joke about
do the look?
Everyone remembers the look, don't they? They all remember their mum's look. And my mum was never scary. Like, she tried to do the look, but she wasn't a scary mum. Like, I must say. But I remember like other people's parents being scary. I
think you're always more scared of other people's parents.
Yeah, probably. But I don't want my kids to be scared of me. I want them to be polite. I want them to say pleases and thank yous. But you know what? I don't need them to feel scared of me.
No, I don't think it's scared though. Yeah. I just think it's the look. We all need the look back, don't we? To go.
I need to learn how. Everyone's had too much Botox. No one can do the look. No one can do the look.
Maybe that's why I'm all right. Oh, that's so funny. Right, so what would be your 3 top tips of parenting?
Oh, Christ.
Here we go.
Wow. Number 1, read my book.
That is number 1.
Number 2, don't feel like you have to conform. Like, I think about sleep. Sleep is always a really big one in kids, I think. And it was one that I found really difficult with mine.
What do you mean, like sleep routine?
Yeah, like I felt like I had so much pressure from people to try sleep training, for example.
Did you do sleep training?
I actually didn't.
People swear by it though.
I know they do. And I cracked at one point. I contacted a sleep trainer because all my friends were like, my kid went from yours to this sleeping angel in like 3 weeks. And I was like, and I there was one day where I just literally hadn't slept for a week, and I was on my knees, and so
she had the sleep coach on speed dial.
Yeah, I called this woman that my friend had used, and she basically told me I had to stop breastfeeding in order to be able to. It was the classic, you're talking absolute nonsense kind of thing. And
why did she say give up breastfeeding?
Because she felt that he was waking up for the comfort of breastfeeding, and that
is your boy your first?
Yeah, he was my first, and he to be honest, both of them, I still, I feed both of them to sleep, and I don't mind it. Like, that's not the problem. It's just when there's like long stretches of not sleeping in between. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are apps out there. There are people that are selling the sleep dream. There's all of these kind of these cruxes to lean on when it comes to sleep, and they're all based on you having a child that fits a bell curve. That's an average child that sits in the middle, that should be getting the 10 to 12 hours of sleep and having a sleep window of 1.5 hours and blah 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 blah. And that's all good and well if you have that child, and it's all good and well if they have that temperament. That's the kind of temperament that will sleep in that way. But you may not have that child, and if you fall outside of that bell curve, then trying to force your child to be fixed into something that they're not isn't going to work. So don't, I feel like you don't need to conform if you feel that your child is not that person, whether it's sleep, whether it's food, whether it's anything. If you don't feel like they're in that normal bracket, that's okay.
And also, I do think it's all down to you as a person. Like, I have a friend, one of my best friends, and she goes back for the sleep, and that is so important to her. Whereas I'm just like, my mind's blown that she goes home for the nap,
Oh, for nap time. Okay.
Yeah. So the nap's always in the cot, but with her, that's worked. So she will stick to that because that has worked for her. But I just couldn't imagine.
Yeah, you need to do what works for you
me
as
ever
well.
doing that, because I'm just not that person. Like,
yeah,
I'll try and get the baby to sleep I never did sleep training either.
No.
I had an old school mum who tells me
your child will sleep now. And I think you're right. Like, you need to do what works for you, and what's safe for your child.
It is now as well. What I feel is we've all just got so much information. There's information overload on everything. Like, think again, we go to back in the day. There was no sleep trainers. There was no sleep coaches.
No.
Your baby just slept when the baby slept.
Yeah.
You'd put the baby outside to sleep, to have a better sleep. Like,
yeah,
we're all on Instagram, and we're all looking at other people and going, oh, well, their baby's sleeping, their baby's doing that. Like,
yeah, the
I
comparison.
think you just have to roll with what baby you have got. Aurelia did not sleep for the first 6-7 months of her life.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think she wasn't actually happy being a baby. She came into this world and was like, why am I in this baby body? Because I am an old soul. I've been here before, and I definitely shouldn't be a baby right now. So she could talk at like 6-7 months. She could actually say words at 6-7 months, because she just didn't want to be a baby. Whereas Bodhi came in, he was happy to sleep and was really, really good. But he woke up like at 6 months, like, nah, I've been good for all this time. Now you're getting
Now's my time to shine.
Yeah. And then I was going through a really hard time. So what I used to actually do, which is terrible now when I think about it, you might say it's not terrible, I used to actually just make bottles for him and just put it in his bed. So then when he woke up, because I was so exhausted with everything I was going through.
Yeah.
So then he'd find the bottle and put himself back to sleep and have the bottle.
I love how second children are so, like, independent.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's going to be just getting himself ready for school straight away, isn't it?
I love it. Uni next year. I love how, like, by the second time, we just kind of, they just have to fend for themselves, don't they? But yeah, like, it's their temperament, like, as you say, and independent sleep is a developmental milestone. It's not like something that determines how good a parent you are. Just because you got your kid to sleep independently, at 6 months before someone else, it doesn't make you a better parent. It just means that child was developmentally ready, and you're not going to be able to. It's
what you're working with.
Yeah, like you're not going to be able to force a child to sleep independently if they're just not ready. In the same way as you can't force a kid to walk if they're just not ready. So I think we need to, like, cut the the guilt around sleep and the fact that sleep is a milestone that has got nothing to do with your parent.
And also, any parents soon to be that are listening to this, just forget about sleep. Get over it. I thought when I was like in my 20s that there's no way that I'd ever get around not sleeping. But you do. You get through it. You get on with it. I'm actually like thinking now, like, oh my God, like I'm not going to, like come June, I actually won't be sleeping again.
It's remarkable how well you can do without sleep, given that we know that sleep is
so important.
So important. And that, you know.
But do you think, sorry, I just love it. This is just basically mine. That when a woman's body makes something to make you not be able to crave the sleep.
Well, look, so when you're in your first trimester, you've got loads of progesterone, which is one of our pregnancy hormones that keeps the pregnancy happy, and it goes up quite significantly in that first trimester. And that's when you remember like that first trimester when you're like on your knees and you're so tired. You're like, why am I so tired?
I look like shit.
Yeah, like, and just
I feel like shit and I'm throwing up.
Exactly. That time when you just can't, you literally can't like stay awake past 7. That's because of that hormone. Now, when you give birth, that hormone then drops super quick, so that then you have this alertness. And so you're super alert to make sure that your baby is safe at all times at night. And like,
again, I was such a deep sleeper and I was thinking, I'm never going to wake up. I was just go to Tom, am I ever going to wake up for the baby? Like, I literally would sleep through like a thunderstorm, like anything. But it's just within you, isn't it?
It's within you. It's like it's entirely hormonal and also just
the mother instinct.
Yeah, some instinctual thing. So I think like, yeah, you feel like you're never going to survive it, but actually your body is there to make sure that you don't sleep for those reasons. Or not don't sleep, but not sleep so deeply.
You will sleep, but it'll just be very broken sleep.
Yeah, it'll be broken. It won't be super deep. But everything that you are meant to do, and it's for a reason. All these things happen for a reason. It's what you're meant to do. You're meant to not be sleeping deeply. So I guess when you're in the middle of this whole like I can't sleep, everything's horrible, just know that actually this is your body's like design.
And also there is a light at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah. Well, I say that my nearly 5-year-old still doesn't sleep through the night, but you know.
No, mine were both up last night. I had a 12 and a 3:30 wake up last night. There we go. So, and it was like, it's 3:30. It's not time to wake up and watch Milkshake. Get back in your bed.
This is it. So, look, we'll sleep one day.
Yeah.
One day we're going to sleep.
Do you know what my mum said?
What?
She went, they then get to teenagers and then you're at the other end that you don't sleep because then they're going out partying and then you're worrying about them coming back. So she said, Kelsey, and then you're a 30-year-old woman and you give me no sleep because I give her worries about life. So
wow. Okay, so that's great. So we
just
never
forget about it.
Again.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Wise words of Diane.
Yeah, sleep when you're dead.
What was your third bit of advice? I mean, I definitely...
Oh, Christ. Third, I would say that you don't need to push yourself. So I guess like, you know, emotionally don't push yourself in terms of, you know, you don't need to have all your mates over after you're given birth. You don't need to have a perfect house. You don't need to have laundry done. But also physically, like there's the whole kind of bounce back issue that gets to me. But I think the problem is a lot of people wait until their 6-week check. They can't wait until their 6-week check because it means they can then go exercise again. Or like, you know, get themselves back to feeling themselves again. And they go to this 6-week appointment with their GP. Their GP will, you know, check their tummy, look for a diastasis recti, will check the C-section scar. Oh yeah, it looks healed. Check that emotionally you're okay. Yep, feeling fine. Oh, you're not bleeding anymore. Great, you can exercise. And it's kind of a bit of a tick box. But I don't think people realise that, let's take a C-section, for example, that you're told that 6 weeks later, the scar will heal. And yeah, the external scar will heal 6 weeks later, but it can take between 6 months and up to a year for those internal wounds of the uterus to heal.
What do they say it takes to actually get your body back? 18 months?
Well, yeah, and actually that's partly why we don't suggest that you fall pregnant again. I know that you said you had a 5 and a 4-year-old. So I don't want to push this on too hard, but it's why it's suggested that you don't fall pregnant again, because your body is just not ready for that. And I think people just think, oh, okay, well, 6 weeks means that I can then get my body back. But actually, we're looking at years here. Come on, like, give yourself a break, people.
Yeah, it's never going to be the same anyway. Say goodbye to that body that you once had. Look at them lovely 20-year-olds walking around looking amazing. Yes,
they think life is so easy. They got their round. They got boobs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Until their boobs are around by their knees. Mine are going to just be like. That was me picking my tits up.
Yeah, just wipe the sweat under them as well, you know.
Yeah,
gets nice and sweaty. Gross.
Just gets so sweaty, and
especially like when you're breastfeeding and you sweat more, and you have all that kind of weird smell, and you know all the nice things that you probably
it's just
forgot
so
about.
Attractive. So hopefully everyone's listening to this and can't wait to have their children, or they know what we're talking about.
I promise, it's amazing.
It is. Thank you so much. And everyone go and buy a book.
Thanks.
And we'll be back with another episode, same time, same place next week.